Hello everybody, it's Will, or hashtag baking actor, and today I have a guest. It's the Food Hussy! Again, she's here and we're going to make her favorite pizza, which has what toppings on it?
Mozzarella and goat cheese and tomatoes and mushrooms and garlic.
And garlic. Oh, and I'm putting garlic in the dough, so. Okay.
It's delish.
It's I'm excited to taste it. I have not tasted it yet, but I've made this dough before, so here's kind of a tutorial on how to make the dough, if you've never made dough. So the first thing you have to do is bloom your yeast. And this is, I know, you've never used yeast, right?
No.
Yeah, okay, so something new. So we're gonna put, this is 2 packets of yeast or 4.5 teaspoons. I don't know. How did they figure that out is what I wanna know, all right? And then some warm water, 2 cups of warm water. So, tablespoon of olive oil. Then for the yeast to start talking to us, we have to have some sugar. This is 2 tablespoons of sugar, I believe. I'll make sure that I have that ingredient right. Oh, and then it's so funny. Look in here. Watch what happens. As soon as I put that sugar in, everything went like this. It's crazy.
I've seen them make beer before, and so it kind of, yeah. Seen that.
And then I'm putting a 1 tablespoon of garlic in here.
I love garlic.
It is so beautiful. Now, you could put the garlic into the flour mixture probably, but I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't sticky. So the flour mixture wasn't sticky, okay? So we're gonna let this start blooming, that 5 cups of flour. And then I'm adding a little bit of a baking actor touch here. I'm putting 2 tablespoons of Herbes de Provence in here. Alright, and then you need a little bit of salt. This is 2 teaspoons of salt, okay? So, what the salt does, I've done a little research. You want to whisk that for me? Awesome.
Please.
Perfect. So just get that Herbes de Provence really incorporated in there. What the salt does is the sugar over here tells the yeast to wake up and start to smell the roses. And the salt says, slow down. Don't go too fast, okay? So what we have to do is get all of this incorporated into our bloomed yeast. It's been about 3 minutes and our yeast has bloomed. So what I'm gonna do is just turn this on so any unincorporated yeast starts to get, incorporated,
yes.
Right? Make sure that it gets wet before we stick the dry ingredients in, okay? So then I'm taking my 3rd cup at a time and I'm just pouring it in there and trying not to get it all over the counter. But that's better than what just happened.
We're talking to a comedian about wet yeast.
Goodness. So we're going to get all of this 5 cups in here.
So I can't just dump the whole thing?
Well, you could.
But I shouldn't.
But you shouldn't.
Okay.
Because what I like to do is let it start a little bit at a time, right? And you see here, it's not gathering it all yet, right? So if you dumped it all in, you would get stuff all the way up the sides, and then it would take a lot longer to incorporate.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we'll get all this in here, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Mixed here.
It smells so
good. That Herbes de Provence and then the garlic together is amazing. So this is the part where I like to get my hands a little dirty, okay? So just make sure that all of that flour is off the bottom of the bowl here, okay?
Okay.
And then knead it just a little bit. Now, the thing with dough is it has to rise, okay? And what I've learned in all of my doughing is that each packet is a rise, basically.
Okay.
So this had 2 packets, or of the yeast in it. So it's got to rise once, and then we punch it down. Take all your aggressions out, which is
I got quite a few.
So you punch it down, and then you let it rise again, and then it's ready for your. You didn't realize you were going to be here all afternoon, did you?
It's okay. There's pillows. I can take a nap.
All right. So now I punch my dough to where it's all mixed and incorporated, and then what we got to do is put a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin, right, on top.
Not like me.
And just like pull it up from the sides a little bit so that it can rise, and the oil will keep it from completely drying out, and as well, once that part gets on the side of the bowl, it lets it slide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so because this will double in size. It takes about an hour to double in size.
Yum.
All right. So, plastic wrap over here, and then I have some dedicated towels. I'm just going to cover this and sit it somewhere that's a little bit warm. It's kind of warm. It's summer here in Cincinnati. So we're going to let this rise, and I'll show you what it looks like after it's doubled. All right, so it's been about an hour. Actually, exactly an hour according to my watch. So taking this off, and I want to show you, though I did not show you the before, you will be able to see. Look how much freaking dough there is. Okay, now here's, you do the honors. Just punch it right in the middle. Woo!
Deflate.
Watch, it totally deflated like
That's
crazy. All right, so now get all that off of the sides here.
And all that olive oil really helps so it doesn't stick to the sides.
Yeah, totally.
Just came right out of there.
Floured surface. Now, we're gonna knead it. Have you ever kneaded before?
Well,
I've kneaded a lot.
I've kneaded a lot. I've seen my cats, you know.
So we're gonna knead this just for a little bit, right? But feel that. Just feel it.
Oh,
it's like
a pillow of air.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just lay my head in it.
Right, crazy. Now, so like I said before, what you basically want to do is just make sure this isn't sticky, okay? Get all that and make sure that there's elasticity. See how it's kind of breaking apart? And there's just a little bit more gluten built up in it, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna...
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. We want it to be where it doesn't rip, right? Okay, so I've got a little extra flour here. You don't want much. You don't want it to get too dry, right? But basically what we're doing in the first punch is redistributing the yeast because it's eating all that it can, okay? The yeast is alive and it's eating, but watch, look at that. Just like the blob. But it's
like me when I sit in a lawn chair.
But it's a beautiful blob. What we're doing is just getting that redistributed a little bit, okay? And it's just, see how now it doesn't rip anymore? It's just like beautiful and elastic, and it's not sticky, okay? So I'm gonna put it back in the bowl, put a little bit more olive oil on top. Ooh, put my olive oil over there. So we're gonna put a little bit more olive oil on top and let it go for another hour. Here we are back. Okay, so we've waited for 2 agonizing hours.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. Okay, so, but the amazing thing is look how much this dough has risen. Honors. All right, so we punched down the dough, and now it is time. Smell that?
Good.
Oh my God, it smells amazing. All right, so I've got my floured surface here. Pop it out, knead it just a little bit to get some of this flour incorporated. But look at that beautiful dough. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna make a disc here. See, it's not pulling, it's not tearing anymore, it's just beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna make a disc here, and then we're gonna cut it into 4. All right, so I've kind of started a little bit of a disc here. And we've got some flour on top. We're just gonna, you do that for me?
Okay.
We just want it to be as disky as possible. See how it's kind of pulling back? All right, so we've got our disc made, and we're gonna do this trick of rolling it up on our rolling pin. Now, one of the things that you wanna do is make sure, dust all the excess flour off of here. We wanted to make sure it didn't stick to our surface, but we don't want this to burn on our pizza stone.
I'm like a Zamboni for pizza dough.
So, all right, set that to the side. Okay, here's our pizza stone.
Hot.
It's hot, hot, hot. Now, here we go. That's what's happening right now, is we're starting to cook. All right, take it away. What kind of pizza are we doing?
All right, well, we're gonna make a white pizza. I get white pizza at Dewey's and some different places here in Cincinnati all the time, and I kind of like it because I get a little acid reflux, so I like having not that much tomatoes on my pizza because it gets really acidic on there. So I'm just gonna sprinkle and spritz a little olive oil around here on the crust. You don't need too much, but it does make it nice and juicy and kind of gives you a little base for the toppings. And then what we're gonna do...
Look at all that herbes de Provence, sorry.
I know, it smells so amazing right now. And then we're gonna start with the cheese. So what I have is fresh mozzarella, which once you've tried fresh mozzarella, you will never buy that shredded stuff again, ever. And now something that I like that he's not the hugest fan of, but he's gonna go with me on this, is we're gonna try goat cheese on this. I like goat cheese, I like soft cheeses, so goat cheese, ricotta cheese is another one you can do. It's so, I know, I heard the sizzle. It's so good. It just gets super melty and just, mushes into everything, and I love it. Got fresh Roma tomatoes out of your garden.
In the little house in the ghetto, we built a garden last year, and so we have some tomatoes. Roma tomatoes we like because they're so small, and you don't have to worry about, like, wasting a tomato, because Tony doesn't eat a lot of tomatoes, and I will eat a tomato, but I can't eat a whole tomato. Like my mom from the South can literally take a tomato like an apple and go, and I'm like, how do you do that? And how's the inside of your mouth not? This is a bunch of ulcer, you know?
I can kill.
Yeah.
I can kill some tomatoes.
All right.
I'm from Iowa. My dad had a garden, so now we got mushrooms. My dad always gardened, which meant every summer I gardened, and that was my entire life, was pulling weeds. And so it was super fun, and I'm not bitter at all, Dad. But I do appreciate a fresh tomato. So now we've got mushrooms that we're going to sprinkle around here.
Yeah.
I like mushrooms. Oh my gosh, this crust is already cooking.
Yeah, it's puffing, isn't it?
And then we're going to take a little bit of the
minced, really crisp on the bottom.
Minced garlic. We're just going to, because I need more garlic.
In my life.
Yeah, we're going to sprinkle that around here. And then get some of that off. And then we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of basil. Fresh basil is amazing. Oregano would be great on this, but I just put a little bit on top. And now it's ready to go.
Ready to go. Back into the oven for about 10 minutes or so, and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
It's a pizza!
Pizza!
It's a pizza! All right. So, this was in the oven for about 10 minutes, and once that bottom crisped and everything, it slid right off the pizza stone.
It looks so good.
It looks so good. You want to cut it?
Okay.
Is it done?
Yeah.
It's done. Oh, yeah. Oh, hear that crunch? Oh, my goodness.
Super crunchy.
Boom. Those tomatoes have let their essence out. You can smell everything.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Ooh, still hot like lava, so I'm not going to touch it. But
yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, looks so good.
If you like what we're doing, follow both of us. This is at Food Hussy. I am Will M. Reed. Subscribe, like, follow my blog, wilmreed.com. I'll make sure I put all the recipe ingredients down below. Thank you all for watching so much. Oh,
Woo!
Food Hussy.
Food Hussy.
Food Hussy. Bye.